My name is Emily. I am 36 years old. Right now, I am sitting in an abandoned bus shelter on the edge of the city. A light, freezing rain is falling, and the broken roof lets cold drops land on my shoulder. My 7-year-old daughter, Lily, is asleep with her head in my lap. My 10-year-old son, Noah, stands beside me, quietly drawing little hearts on the fogged-up glass with his finger. We are all so thin now. 4 months ago, we had a home. A small 2-bedroom apartment on the south side of town with a tiny balcony where I kept potted herbs. My husband, Daniel, drove for a rideshare company. He came home late most nights, but he always brought small treats for the kids, candy bars or little toys. I thought that was life. Hard, but together. Then one night, he didn't come back. I called in the morning, no answer. That evening, the door opened and he walked in with a younger woman beside him. He looked straight through me. "Emily, it's over. I want a different life now." I could barely speak. "What about the children?" "You keep them," he said flatly. "I'll sell the car and send you some money. But this place isn't yours anymore." I cried, I begged. He said there was no point. We packed our few belongings while Lily and Noah screamed and clung to my legs. Daniel pushed the suitcases into the hallway, then shut the door and turned the lock. That metallic click felt like something inside me breaking forever. With only a little over $200 in my purse and 2 scared children, we stepped into the cold night. At first, I rented a tiny room in a rundown motel, $60 a night. The cash lasted just over 2 weeks. When it was gone, the manager said, "Pay up or get out." So we left. For 2 nights, we slept in the park under a tree. Rain soaked our thin jackets. Lily started coughing. A fever came quickly. I had no medicine, only my arms to hold her and the words, "Mommy's here," that I kept repeating, even though I was terrified myself. During the days, I searched for any job I could find. Finally, I was hired at a small 24-hour bakery, 10 p.m. to 6 a.m., kneading dough, scraping ovens, lifting heavy trays of bread. The pay was barely enough to survive. The owner took pity on us and let the children sleep in a cramped storage room behind the shop. "Just keep them quiet," he said gruffly. My hands blistered from the heat. My back ached constantly. We lived on day-old bread, weak tea, and whatever scraps were left at closing. Sometimes there was nothing at all. Noah would look up with big eyes and ask softly, "Mom, aren't you eating too?" I always smiled and said, "I'm not hungry, sweetheart." My stomach burned with hunger every single night. One bitter winter night around 3 in the morning, I was sweeping ashes around the big oven. The cold pressed through the thin walls. Through the front window, I saw an old man sitting alone on the bench outside. Thin coat, no hat, shaking violently. People hurried past without even glancing at him. I opened the door. "Sir, please come inside. It's warmer here." He looked up. His eyes were tired and distant. "Thank you, but I don't want to be a bother." "You're not a bother. Come in. At least have some hot tea." He moved slowly. His hands were blue with cold. I poured him a large mug of steaming tea and set a thick slice of fresh, warm sourdough bread in front of him. He ate quietly, then whispered, "God bless you, child." I sat across from him. "Why are you out here so late, all alone?" He sighed. "I don't have a home anymore. My only son moved to Australia years ago. He promised he'd send for me, 3 years later, nothing. I sold everything I had. Now I just walk. My chest tightened. I said, "Stay here tonight. In the morning when the owner comes, I'll tell him you're helping out." He gave a small, weary smile. "You barely have space for yourselves." "We'll make space," I told him. Together. That night, he slept on an old blanket in the corner of the storage room. The children woke up frightened. I whispered, "He's our guest tonight. It's okay." Morning came. The bakery owner grumbled when he saw the stranger, but after I explained, he just shrugged. "Fine, he can stay, but he has to work." His name was Mr. Thomas. Everyone called him Tom. In the mornings, he stood behind the counter selling loaves. In the evenings, he swept floors and wiped tables. He never asked for a cent, just food and a quiet corner to rest. 2 months passed. Late at night, after the children were asleep, Tom and I would talk. He told me stories of his youth, his wife, who passed away 10 years earlier, the little house by the lake they once shared. I told him about Daniel, about the years I believed we were building a real family. One freezing evening, Tom said quietly, "Emily, I have something for you." From the inside pocket of his worn coat, he pulled out a folded document. It was the deed to a small house. "This was my mother's place. It's been empty for years. My son doesn't want it. I can't live there by myself anymore. I've had the papers changed to your name." I stared at him, hands trembling. "Tom, no, I can't accept this." "Why not?" he asked gently. "That night you opened the door when no one else would. You gave me warmth, a hot drink, a piece of bread. That small act of kindness kept me alive. This house is for you and your kids." Tears streamed down my face. "You only cared," he said. "Now let me care in return." A week later, we stood in front of a modest one-story house on a quiet street. Small yard, 2 bedrooms, a simple kitchen. Wild roses grew along the fence. Lily and Noah ran inside laughing, the first real laughter I had heard in months. 6 months have passed. I still work at the bakery, but now on the morning shift. In the afternoons, I take baking classes. I dream of opening my own little cafe someday. Tom lives with us. He turned the small room off the back porch into his own peaceful space. Every evening we sit together, drink tea, and talk about ordinary things. Sometimes Daniel calls and says he's sorry, that he made a mistake. I don't answer anymore. I don't look behind me. From that freezing night beside the warm oven, I learned something I will never forget. Even when you have lost everything, you still have something left to give. A cup of tea, a listening ear, a moment of kindness. That small gift can change someone's life, and later, often when you need it most, it comes back and changes yours. I was once the woman with nothing. Now I am Emily, mother to 2 bright, laughing children, friend to a gentle old man, and someone who finally believes in tomorrow again. Kindness is the only thing that never runs dry. Plant it, even in the coldest soil, and one day it becomes the home you never thought you'd find.